This is a response to just a guy learning music. But how do you know if it's true? How do you know what is real and fake? So how do you know what is real and fake? Well, if we're talking about Jesus and being God, we have scripture, we have good evidence and reason to understand that Jesus died for claiming to be God. That's pretty much a fact. And then we have reasons, we have the Gospels, that Jesus rose from the dead, and we have the New Testament. A lot of people, as I've said in my non-biblical document, historical evidence, people like to say, well, that doesn't count because it's biblical. However, it's many historical texts that were compiled into what we call the Bible, making them biblical. So, if you just take out the fact that they're biblical, there's historical text that claims that Jesus rose from the dead. And then there's also reasons why the body wouldn't have been stolen from the tomb. And there's plenty of reasons that you can look up online that people debate why it's real. How do I know it's real? Well, besides my personal experience, we have the biblical texts, or I could just say we have scripture. Just remove the fact that it's biblical, because before they were in the Bible, as I've said in my non-historical, my video about Jesus and the Bible, the non-historical evidence, the Bible, the contents of the Bible are not biblical technically. They're non-biblical documents. They're only biblical now because they're compiled into what we call the Bible, making them biblical. However, before they were biblical, there was multiple texts talking about Jesus, and then there's reasons to debunk the theories of why people say, no, the body was stolen, or Jesus didn't really die. So, I believe, because of my personal experience, and I trust the Bible, and I trust in Jesus. Since Jesus rose from the dead, I know people can say, well, that's not proof that God existed, that's just a supernatural event that happened. Well, I would just say that person or those people are just in denial. They just want to come up with any excuse to further their own beliefs or thoughts. I don't know if they're afraid or they don't want to be wrong, but they're just skeptical past the point of evidence. Not very scientific for them to do. Okay, continuing. How do I know what is real and fake? Well, I mean, there's theories out there that we are in a hologram. The whole universe is like a 2D version of a 3D or 4D environment. And almost every week, new theories are coming up. I get that Google article. When you open Google, a whole bunch of web pages come up. Science Life comes up, Science Live, or Live, Life Science. All these things pertaining to new findings or new theories. So there's theories that we're not even really here. It's all a simulation. In a more futuristic, like we are the game for whoever's playing us, or the strategy game, or whatever you call those click and drags or watch them grow simulations. There's that theory. There's theories. Our dreams are our past lives, and the hologram theory. There's many theories. So why do I think this is, or what do I know is real? Well, I can only say my experience. I'm living in this world. We have conscious. A majority of sciences even understand our own conscious, or why we have consciousness. We don't understand the laws of nature. We don't understand, which I might make a more video into that the laws of nature and the nature itself is proof of the supernatural. Which I've been doing commenting on Quora and YouTubes to see how my argument stands up to the people who debate it, and so far it goes good. They usually come to a roadblock and either block me or report my comments, even though I'm not being insulting. They just don't like what I'm saying. So I think that's a good point to make, so in a future video I'll make that. So experience that I know that we don't understand everything in our nature, right? So there's something bigger. God, my experience with God would be a good reason. Also, the fact that we were given Scripture is a good reason. The fact that we have the history of Jesus, his death and resurrection. I'm not claiming to say that everyone's going to agree with me or my wording. Probably not my wording. He said, how do you speak to God, not just in prayer, but actually hear his voice? I don't know how you will hear his voice. Sometimes I hear, not hear, but I don't believe that it's my conscious mind or subconscious, or I don't believe it's my conscious mind, but my subconscious mind. Like, I get an epiphany after I've prayed, and I just know it's something that I would have never thought of. If you do hear his voice, you know, it's good to still be skeptical. You don't want to make sure you're not hearing voices as in an illness or mental illness. But there's people who've claimed to hear God, and you know they absolutely might. But I'm just saying, if you do hear voices or God's voice, I'd still say be skeptical. You might want to get a CAT scan or a brain scan to make sure you're healthy. And I'm not saying you're crazy or anything, but those types of things, if someone was to tell me they hear voices, I would be, you know, worried about them. But I'd also say, you know, it's possible. So I'm completely not disregarding God's capabilities. Question was, I want to ask, it's a common phrase to say the truth is out there for those who seek it, and yes, I fully agree. I'll attach a video link that's Inspiring Philosophy did, Inspiring Philosophy YouTuber. He did a video on monotheism. Tribes in Austria or Australia, I forget exactly where. It's like an hour-long video. Like I said, I'll put it in the bottom. It shows that there was tribes that worshipped one God, and the name of their language that translate into English was the Great One, the One and Only, the Creator. So I do believe that if people seek God, God will show themselves to him. And he might not announce himself as God of the Bible or, you know, Jesus. I mean, obviously it was before Jesus, but still, there may be many religions. And this is not to say I believe in universalism, but I believe there may be many religious people in the past and even now who don't have the capability to hear the Bible, the Scripture, may have trusted in the same one God as the Bible. They just use different names because of their languages and their time and means of getting there. So, yes, and there's evidence, as you'll see in the video, that Inspiring Philosophy did, that, and I'm not saying they are worshiping the God of the Bible, I'm just saying it's possible. So, and how do you know it's true what you're seeking? God has the capability of letting you know. And then you'll say, well, people might say, well, what about all the other religions? They're seeking God, and this is the conclusion they came to. Well, I believe I made a video of it. Those people without the gospel, I made a video that I might attach a card to go to that, which probably needs to be updated. Thank you for watching this video. Toodles.